All right, I think we are live. Welcome. If you are here for KVCore overview and training, you are at the right place. I'm going to stop my video there. This is an overview. We've got, first of all, my name is David Harbour. I'm with eXp Realty. You do not have to be with eXp Realty for today's training. This is open for any agent that is either currently working on with KVCore or is thinking about moving over to the platform or is curious about it. And then certainly for those agents that do have it, we're going to show you how to use it. What is really behind the dashboard of KVCore, and how is that going to impact my business? How am I going to generate leads from that? So I've got my partner in crime today, Melody Visser, our resident KVCore specialist. Hello, Melody.
Hello, everyone. How's it going?
How you doing? Now you've been using KVCore for how long now?
Well, I think we got it with eXp about 3 years ago. So it's been 3 years.
Okay. So we recently, it started out as conversion, and then it's kind of migrated or evolved into KVCore. But what we're going to talk about here in a second is basically, every realtor should have a website, obviously. But when we look at statistics, according to the National Association of Realtors, that I think it's in the neighborhood of 90% of consumers actually go online and start looking for real estate information, including homes. And when you talk to probably 90% of the agents out there and you ask them how many leads have they generated from their website, they're going to give you a big fat goose egg and say none. And so you're missing a major component of lead generation if you're not involved with having a website that'll help you with incubating those leads, capturing those leads, properly following up and establishing relationships with those contacts. So I pulled up something here. Now, I saw this before we got started here, but it's some stats on where buyers found the homes that they purchased. Not just the fact that they're, starting searches or information or looking for agents, but when they actually purchased, 51% of them found their home on the internet. And so, we want to show you exactly, if you don't have a website or an IDX or a CRM system that helps you capture those leads, you're missing out big time. And there's a number of applications that are on the market here, currently. And we're going to show you what we think is one of the more powerful ones, and it's called KVCore Platform. It's a website, it's a CRM, it's an IDX, it's an auto dialer, it's a lead generation integrated with Facebook and Google advertising, landing pages, squeeze pages, and everything in between. So, did I say enough there? Where should we get?
Yeah, you're doing great.
What would you say to those agents that either A, don't have a website, or B, they're not happy with their site that they're using?
Me? Well, I think everybody should have a website, because the first thing someone's going to do is Google you. So you want your name to pop up on Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn, and hopefully a website. I mean, I do have two. Another one that is I get free. It's a WordPress site through eXp. I don't use it much, but it's more of a personal website. But I pretty much put my URL on everything, and that URL leads to my conversion site. So you can customize when you have KVCore. You can customize it a little bit more and add pages. So you can have a page for buyers with information, a page for sellers for information, and those types of things, which is nice. And we can show you how to do that today if people want to see how to do that. But I think the main purpose of KVCore is not necessarily for your current clients, but a way for you to get new clients and build that pipeline and get new business. So I think if you have it as a tool, especially if it's free, if your company offers it, why not use it? You don't have to spend a ton of money to get the leads coming into your back end there.
Yeah. So why don't we jump into it? I'm going to actually do a screen share. If you're watching this and you have any specific questions, because literally this training could be an all-day training. There's so much to this platform. But if you have specific questions, put it right into the YouTube chat and Melody and I will answer it. So without further ado, I'm going to share my screen. So hopefully you can see that. Excuse me. So you can see my screen okay?
I don't see it. Now I see there you go.
Hey, fantastic. Broadcast to everyone, and you're screen sharing and presenting. Fantastic. So this is KVCore. And now the website, if I was to make an analogy, is not one of these websites where you can go crazy with the customization. They want to keep it very simple. They want to keep it so the consumer is really attracted towards looking and searching for homes. And so what they've done is they've set it up. There is some customization on here where on this top portion here, you can actually put in any image. You can put in a video if you'd like of a virtual tour. You can get pretty fancy. But what they want to do is they want to make it so it's almost like Trulia, Zillow, Realtor.com, where consumers go right in and start searching for a home. So if I was looking for a home and I start popping in searches, Leesburg, let's just say Fairfax, and I hit search. Sorry about that. You still with me?
Yeah, we're here.
Yeah. So if you have a website and an IDX is the feed that comes in from the multiple listing system, it's imperative that you have a way of capturing that lead or an exchange saying, I want your email and phone number, and you have the ability to search on my site for those homes. If you don't have that, you're missing out the ability to actually capture leads. You know, I'm surprised at how many people may have an IDX on their site, but they haven't set it up to opt in anybody, and they have no idea who's searching for homes. There's also a science behind how many homes that somebody can see before they are asked to opt in. I would, ask you, Melody, how many, searches do you give a consumer before they have to opt in?
I think I have it set up to look at one house.
One house?
Or like one house, a few photos, and then it prompts you. So they get a little bit of looking and then they're into it, and then it asks them, and then they have to, it asks for an email address, and then it says, you can use your phone number as the password, but some people won't put in their phone number, and some will. It just depends. And some will give you exactly their contact information, and some will do Mickey Mouse at AOL, but that's going to happen with any lead source that you use. So
what would you say the percentage is of people who actually put in content that is legitimate?
That's a good question. I really haven't tracked that too much, and maybe that's shame on me, but
50%?
Yeah, I would say 1%. I don't think it's 1%.
No.
I mean, I think people will put in at least a lot of times a valid email address. Now, whether that's an email address that goes to their junk, their junk mail, because everybody has that email address that they send all their junk mail to, or not, that's another question. But I don't think it's 1% of putting correct info in. But whether they're putting something they really check all the time, that's a different question. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say, listen, you will undoubtedly get some people that put in a fake email or a fake phone number. But let me just ask you, so we can at least capture the attention of everybody watching here. In the last few years, how much commission have you earned from utilizing the lead generation capabilities of your website?
And the last 3 years, I would say about 4 million of my sales have been from using conversion, and those leads are coming through to conversion from Facebook ads. Now, I will say what's even better than that, several of those have gone on to sell their house and then buy again. So these are people who I helped and then helped again 2 or 3 years later. So
I think if I was to do the rough math, that's over $100,000 in
right,
commissions
yeah.
as a result of using this.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think a good rule of thumb is like for every 100 to 200 or every 100 to 150 leads, you'll capture one that buys or sells with you. Now, granted, I am one person. I don't have a team calling these people, 8 times within 10 days like you're supposed to, and those types of things. I think actually my numbers would be higher if I was a little bit more persistent in that regard. But I do need to work better on that. But
are you utilizing Follow Up Boss now?
I don't use Follow Up Boss. I just use I took their templates that they have and I tweaked them a little bit that Conversion provides. The automated templates, because I like to kind of put my own spin on the words that sounds like me. And so as soon as they sign in, that gets started and they'll get kicked a text or they'll get kicked an email. And then obviously from there, you can call them and reach out to them. I sometimes feel a little bit on reaching out via phone, but everything's automatic. So technically, you don't have to do anything if you don't want to. Now, I will say, the more you work at it, the more successful you're going to be with those leads. But it's automated. So once you set it up, it's running for you.
Yeah. And so, hey, I see Greg Hatcher on here. Hey, Greg, how you doing? So this is just one page where somebody opts in. If I was to go back to the actual front of the website, you have, as you said, a little bit of customization where you have multiple pages that you can actually set up. And it's nice because you have your agent profile, my listings, we're hiring, a blog section. Sellers have a what is your home worth section that'll actually, when somebody fills that in, it'll give them a rough CMA, and then searching for homes. And then the customization part, I've put in buying or selling, and I've got a form here that I used out of BombBomb, which will put them on an automatic video drip campaign, but you can set up multiple custom pages. Have you set up any custom pages on yours?
Yeah, this is new now that we have KVCore. And so I hadn't looked at it until recently, and I added a few pages that I'm kind of trying to work on and make them look pretty. But yeah, I have added a page for buyers and added a page for sellers. It's really simple. You do it on the back end. You click on it. You add your text. You can add a photograph in there. You can even add a video in there. And if you want, I can show you. We can share my screen at some point. And I can show you.
Yeah, but it's pretty simple.
Yeah,
right?
No, it's very simple. It's super simple. Yeah, anybody can do it. You don't have to be an expert in websites to do it.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump into the dashboard now. And this is where kind of the meat and potatoes of where everything happens. But to sum this up, this website is like a Ferrari and for lead generation for agents. It does drip campaigns. It has landing pages. It has texting capabilities. You can set up squeeze pages. And it has a CRM system that has built-in auto follow-up campaigns, texting and email. And that's kind of where, I know that you've tweaked it and excelled and done some higher level stuff with integrating BombBomb video emails with Zapier. Not to get too technical, but that I'm sure that there aren't a lot of people that are doing that. Here is the dashboard itself. Maybe you can talk a little bit about how you utilize this dashboard on a daily basis.
Sure. So what I would say is the dashboard is nice because in that moment you can see what's recently been happening. So if someone texts you, if someone recently looked at a home,
Mm-hmm.
If someone recently signed up on your site, so you can see where Liz signed up just recently on David's site. You can see that. So that's kind of like the newest things that have been happening on your site. And then from there, you can click on new leads if you just want to see the new leads that just came in. And we can share my screen if you want, David, and I can click on things.
Yeah. Full
kind of-
disclosure, you do a lot more business than I'm doing as I'm out doing other things. But
do you want me to share mine or no?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because we'll go back and forth on this. Why don't you show the first part, and then when we get down to the listings, I'll take over. So I'll stop, and then go ahead. You can take over.
Okay. I'm just waiting to see if it's going to work.
Drum roll, please.
All right. I'm sharing it. There you go. Can you see it? No, I still see yours. How do I get to see mine? Can you stop sharing yours?
Let's see. Are you screen sharing? Stop. There we go. How about that? Okay.
Can you see it?
Yep. I think that's you.
I don't think you can see it on the webinar, though. I don't see it on the webinar. I see you. Now I see you.
Nope. No, we can see yours. Go ahead.
On the webinar?
Yep.
Okay. Well, let us know if you can't see my screen, everyone. So as you can see here, for example, this lady's been searching the last 14 hours on my site. She's looking at rentals because I've already looked her up. This is a guy that I set up recently for searches. He's starting to look, but not ready to buy yet. I was texting with this lady last night. Can you see this, guys? Hopefully.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we can see everything, Mel.
So you can see who's been on the site, when they were on the site, what they were using, which is kind of scary, a computer or their mobile device. It pretty much tells you everything. So there's been some people on there, which is great. You can go to new leads. You can see the most recent leads that I've had come in, new text that's come in, new emails that's come in, new hot leads, which is typically the most recent to people that have gotten back to you or looked at properties. And then those people that have actually looked at properties. So it's all right there, simple.
Now, when you click on one of those, like, for example, the most recent lead, that one in the top left-hand corner, if you click on that, it'll drill down and tell a little bit of the history of their search, little profile, the communications that you've had with them.
Yeah, so here's her profile. And you can see she didn't give a number, but her email is valid, I believe, because she's getting these emails. Mm-hmm. And it actually gave it a little email check. So that means that her email's been verified through KVCore. So this is a real Gmail account. But from here, yeah, it's cool because you can look at all activity, all inbound activity to see if she's texted or emailed me, all outbound activity, what I've sent her, any calls that I've made that would come up with the notes, the drip campaign she's on, notes. So you can narrow it down if you're just interested in specific things that you've either talked to her about or sent her or vice versa. Over here, you can log a call. So if I were to call her, she doesn't have a number, I could log the call. I could schedule a call for a later date if we spoke and she said to call her back. I could even log the call and say, hey, I called her, it was a bad number, mark bad number, and it'll mark that it's a bad number and remove it. So you can do all those things, which is really nice. And then it'll send you, go ahead.
This does not go directly into your Gmail or Outlook. This is within the CRM platform, correct?
Right, but if I scheduled a call, I would put the call date, the call time, and I would sync it with Google, and that way I get an email reminder to call her that day.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, because I mean, some days I don't think to go in here, and so I want the reminders because I don't know who I scheduled to call 2 weeks from now.
Right.
You can send a text from here. Obviously, send an email. You can add notes. So if you talk to this lady, okay, she wants to buy in May. I'm gonna follow up with her in February. She's looking for X, Y, and Z. She has a dog. Whatever. You can put the notes there. And then there's more actions. So you can share the contact. So let's say if you're working with someone and you want that person to work with her or contact her, you can share it like with them. So like Julie Bowman, for example. I could share it with
Oh,
her.
she's a great agent.
She is a great agent. You're on a team, that kind of thing.
So you actually get to see the notes that she puts in and you put in, you share.
Yeah, so there's two things, transfer a lead or share a contact. Transfer, it would go right to that person. I wouldn't be able to see it anymore necessarily, but shared a contact, I can still see what's going on. Obviously, you can unsubscribe them if they say, hey, don't contact me again. You can just unsubscribe them from text alerts. Turn off behavioral alerts. This is new for KVCore. So for example, let's say she didn't come back to my website for a while, but then 3 months later, I never talked to her, but 3 months later, she came back and started looking at houses. It'll automatically send her a behavior alert that says, hey, I noticed you're looking at houses today. What can I help you with? They say different things.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, you can archive a lead. Let's say they said, unsubscribe me, I don't want to talk to you. You can archive them. You can delete a lead too, I suppose, if you want to. Another cool feature is if their email is associated with Facebook, Google, LinkedIn, or any of these social media accounts, you can find them on Facebook. So let's see if we can find this lady. I feel like this is a little bit like stalky, but you can do it.
Well, it is. However, that's public information, and it could also be useful for crafting your message on maybe they're military, maybe they're relocating, maybe they give you something that you're able to, kind of weave into your conversation with them as you're trying to establish a relationship.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, this person is not coming up, so I don't think this email address is associated with their Facebook account, but it does work. I have found people that way.
Yeah,
so.
and I've links to LinkedIn as well, which you can also check out their work history.
Yeah, let's see if it, oh, so yeah.
Okay.
That might be her. I don't know. Possibly. I don't think so. She's in Indonesia. So anyway, okay. But yeah, I have used it and it does work. So that's kind of a quick overview. Now, see all task is nice because you can add a task. So let's just say you wanted to send them something in a month. You could just write a reminder, send her a birthday card, I don't know, in a month, and add the task. And again, when that date comes around, it'll email you and tell you, hey, send this person whatever it was that you need to send them. It's a great feature, great reminders, because we don't obviously have time to to remember all these things. So this tells you what to do when you need to do it.
When you start developing a number of leads in the database, there's also the ability to set them up on an auto drip. Is that automatic, or do you have to ignite it?
No, so it's set up so as soon as the person signs onto your website, they come into this back end and it automatically puts them on a drip.
So, I mean, that's one of the highlights.
As long as you have it set up. I mean, you got to, set it all up. But once it's set up, it's done. And, if there's a number, I have the first thing to go out be a text. Now, let's say the person doesn't have a phone number. Then instead of a text, it'll go out as an email. So, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So the bottom line is that you could be, it's overwhelming to get that many leads. But this allows you to juggle, as you said, 50, 100, 150 people at one time and keep it focused, if you will. And it's assisting you with a lot of the interactions and communications automatically. Once you set it up, it does everything for you, really. As long as you, do the things you need to do, make notes and things like that to remind you to do things. So that's a quick overview of that. I didn't know if anybody had any questions or if there's something, David, that you wanted to touch on today as well. No, I listen, in order for us to get through, and we're not going to be able to drill into every aspect of this. What we're trying to do is, for those agents that are currently using it, make things that they may or may not be aware of, and also, wet the whistle of those folks that might be kicking the tires saying, I'd like to learn more about this product. So why don't we go on to the next tab for listings, and I'll take over on this one.
Okay. All right. That's fine.
So, excuse me. So now I'm going to share my screen. And so the next tab down is listings. And listings is really powerful because what it does is it allows you to actually do a number of marketing things for your listing. But also, if you're an agent that doesn't have a listing and you're looking to generate leads, this is a great way of doing it. Excuse me. I'm going to type in, let's see, I want to get a property that's near me. Got a great house right here in Vienna. I'm not going to say, this is another agent's property that's with EXP, okay? And what they can do is, if this was my listing, right from here, I can actually do all these things. I can send a text message. I can send this property via text. I can email it. I can generate a QR code. I can print a specific flyer for it. I can boost the property. I can post this to Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, and Craigslist if this were my listing, right from the dashboard. But it gets better than that. Say this isn't my listing and I'm looking to generate leads. No problem. If I want to post it to Facebook, watch what it'll do. It'll actually grab the information on the property and it'll put my website on here. And so I can say, check out this new listing in Vienna. And when I click post to Facebook, when you actually go to Facebook, it'll show that property with my link to it. So if somebody inquires about it right here, it goes right to my website. And that lead, it will go right into my CRM system. Pretty slick. I mean, every morning you could actually take a number of your listings and put them out via social media, and I guarantee you'll be able to generate leads. Same thing with Twitter, same thing with Pinterest. Here's one where a lot of people in the past had done Craigslist advertising, but it became, Craigslist was always trying to one up the agent and they were making it difficult. Well, KVCore has got an unbelievable plugin. Whoop, here, Mel, we can hear you in the background.
Sorry, it's my phone. Sorry, let me turn this off.
Another lead coming in. All you have to do is I click on Craigslist. I say what area. I'm not touching anything, folks. It's automatically grabbing the data from that listing, the picture, and giving a little description that's pulled from the multiple listing system. And look at this. It's saying for more information, it's got my name and my phone number directly on there. And if I wanted to, I can publish this a little bit more. And then all I have to do is click continue and publish. That just went out. Literally every morning, you could probably do 50 of these in a matter of 10 minutes. And I'll guarantee you by the end of the day, you'll have a lead. You still there, Mel? Oh. So as far as, I'm going to turn Melly's camera off for a second, guys. She's got a sick one today. So let's see. Right from broadcast, there we go. So right from here, as I mentioned, you can pull up any listing. We have it here in the Washington metro area where you can use anyone's listing and basically promote it, and you get access to it. The next tab down is marketing. It's called Marketing Autopilot. When Medley was saying when somebody goes onto our website, it immediately starts what is called an auto email text campaign. Now, there are default campaigns that are already set up, or you can tweak them and add your own special twist on it. So I have one for buyers, and then I have one for sellers. And so if I click on the seller one, when somebody goes onto my website and they're looking for a CMA on their home, through that seller page, what will happen is within 5 minutes, they'll get a text message from me. In a day, they'll get a welcome email. 3 days, 15 days. You can set this up to whatever amount of days that you want for the follow-up, and it'll actually send it out. So that's how you're able to follow up with literally hundreds of buyers and sellers, and you let KVCore do a lot of the work for you. This is on the buyer side, same thing. They get an email within 10 minutes. They get a text message the next day with another follow-up email. And you have different statements, questions, links, helpful information with this. so you're not bombarding them with senseless stuff. And what happens is sooner or later, you get feedback, or you'll get an answer to one of those questions, which starts the dialogue with that particular lead. If I go back to the marketing autopilot section here, as Melody mentioned, there's also search alerts and behavioral automation. I mean, this folks could get very, very sophisticated, where say you have somebody go away from your website and then they come back, it'll automatically respond to them in a certain way. Down here, there's schedule mass emails. So if you've amassed over 500 people in your database, in your CRM, and they've left their email, you can do a mass email to them, following up, wishing them happy holidays, or is anybody interested in seeing homes this weekend? The same thing with text capabilities. If for some reason they've left their phone number, which a good number of them do. I think somebody put in there 1%. It's more than that. It's much higher. You can actually send them a text message as well. And then the lead validation, you'll see when we were back at the Smart CRM portion of the dashboard, there's stars here. And as you can see, this one right here has 4 stars. KVCore kind of evaluates that particular lead. And what they say is, based on the information that they put in, they validate the phone number, they validate the phone number and the other content that that individual puts on and the way they interact. It'll give them a star rating, which lets you know, hey, this is a pretty strong candidate, or it's not so strong. So I'm going to go back to the actual dashboard here. And once again, guys, if you have specific questions, you can put this right into the chat session here, okay? Welcome back, Mel.
Hi, sorry about that.
No worries.
Unfortunately, I have a sick kid today, so.
Yeah, I know. It seems to be going around. So what we're doing is we're going back to the actual marketing autopilot. For those that use auto dialers, there's actually a mobile app that'll integrate to help you with coordinating calling all of these leads to their specific numbers on a regular basis. Have you used the auto dialer yet? Can't hear you. Mel? Okay, she's
sorry about that. I didn't realize the mic was off. No, like I said, I don't use that as much, but I know I've read people use it and they love it. So if you are a big phone person and like just calling people, I would suggest trying it out for sure.
There's so much depth to this website. This particular tab, the next one down, is called Lead Engine. And here it's one of my favorite portions of it, because I'm going to read off the different categories, but then we'll dive into each of these. The bottom 2 down here are actually mobile apps. You have one for an open house. So when you're at an open house, there's a really specific app that can capture those folks as they come in and put them right into your CRM system as they register for that open house. And then Millions Mapped is your personal version of letting them get off of Zillow, Truly, and Realtor.com. This is tied directly to your MLS, and it also ties directly with your CRM system. So as those buyers are looking for homes, you're able to tap in and see how they're doing and make comments and stay connected with them. The upper 2 right here is a landing page and squeeze pages. Excuse me. This, to me, this is one of the most exciting parts of KVCore. I'm going to click on a landing page. And sometimes people call these squeeze pages, some people call them landing pages, but these are basically customizable pages that you can set up any way you want and put any image. I can make it specific to a property. I can make it a page set up for a report. Click here to get my top 10 foreclosure homes in Loudoun County.
You can put a video in there too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm going to show a couple of the, this is the couple of the examples here. As Melody said, they've got one with a video in here. They've got another one with content hijack, and they've got one for texting. So if you want to find out information on a particular home, if you want to find out every open house, you can be super creative because it has a lot of different capabilities. Here's one on chatting with Facebook. And in the upper right-hand corner, I can change the background of this. I can change the text. And what this does is it allows me now to create custom sales pages that can be for lead generation on reports. The top 10 things on what to ask a realtor when interviewing them. That gets you in the door with somebody. Get on my top 10 list for best properties in the Loudoun County area. That gets people. Get on my open house tour list. It could be 1,000 different things. What are some of the other ideas that you could think of, Mel?
Well, everybody loves a good deal, regardless if they're actually looking to buy it. So you could say, get the latest list of short sales and foreclosures in Loudoun County. And then they just have to fill in their email, and cell phone is optional if you'd like. Tell me more. And you can put something funny at the bottom, enter your cell. We will text you cool stuff. We promise not to spam you. Be funny about it. You could do a landing page for a specific neighborhood. So let's say you, I don't know, I live in Ashburn Village. So I'm starting to try to farm heavily Ashburn Village. So let's say I can do a landing page for Ashburn Village. People can come to that landing page and they can get the most recent stats. And then it can say, if you want to see the, all of the properties for sale in Ashburn Village, enter your email. I mean, there's lots of different things you could do. You could do it for an area, a specific community. You could do it for open houses. I mean, really, honestly, you can tailor it to do whatever you want it to do. And you could even have a URL for that. So you'll see there the third button over, URL after login. So once they log in, put their info in, it'll take them to whatever site you want it to take them to, whether it's conversion or something else.
Right. So, I mean, it literally, that's where you have to get your thinking cap on, and you can create a number of these. Running parallel to this are squeeze pages. Now, what's a squeeze page? A squeeze page is where I can set up either a buyer page or a seller page literally within a minute. And you can use that as I don't want to say a hook, but it's a place where you can start to generate leads. So, for example, the area. I'm going to use a community that's right by me, Belmont Country Club. Let's see. Here it is right here. And I'm going to look at the type of homes. I'm going to do single family homes. And what are the options? I'm going to do, I don't know, just listed. Right here, all I have to do is generate a link, and look at this. It'll copy, and I could post this right into social media. I'm just going to post it into the URL. But what it'll do...
Now, I'm going to stop you, David, just real quick, if that's okay.
Yeah, please.
So, what happened to your page? I was going to show them something. Can you go back to the where you were?
Yeah, there weren't any homes in Belmont.
Yeah, that are just listed. The inventory's tight here. But so where David is, I think it's important on this page configuration to do that part. I know he's trying to go fast so that we can get through everything. But the source would be whatever you plan to put that link on. So Facebook, Google, whatever. Hashtag is important. And the reason why a hashtag is important is you want to name especially if you're running this as like an ad and you're spending money, you want to give it a name so that when leads come in, it's gonna associate with that. So let's say I clicked on this link and I signed up and the hashtag was hashtag Facebook Belmont, then you know your Belmont ad is working for you because people are clicking on it. So that's why it's important to give it a hashtag, because it'll associate with that link when that person signs in. So you can actually see that under their profile, how they came to your site. And if it was through an ad, you'll know that. The next thing that's very important is Facebook cover photo. And it's going to give you a few options if you do the drop-down menu there, David.
Yep.
But you want to make sure you choose the option that says show a photo or photos of homes that are listed in your brokerage. Now, the area that you're doing your ad in may not be in Belmont, but it gives you the option to use random listings from your agency, even if outside the search results. Because we don't want to use a photo in an ad or anything that's from a different listing that's not an EXP listing, because we can get in trouble for that. So just make sure you pick us, our brokerage, as a photo. And I'm sure who's ever listing it is, if it's an EXP listing, they're probably not going to care if the photo of the house they're trying to sell is on that. That's just my 2 cents. But make sure you choose that. And then once you choose that, you can take that link and copy it and put it wherever you'd like. You can do an ad. You can just put it in your Facebook feed. You can put it, I know a lot of people are big on posting in different groups, but I found, at least around here, people are very sensitive to that. They don't like you to spam their for sale group or their yard sale group. So I would just be mindful of that. But some people swear by it. I just know around here they're kind of Nazis with that kind of thing. So, just be careful with that. I've found that Facebook has recently changed their algorithms, which has made it a little bit more challenging. But the ads that I've had most success with and gotten the most leads are check out the new listings in X. So check out the new listings in Ashburn, or check out the new listings in Loudoun County. I've also had a lot of luck with check out the foreclosures and short sales in Northern Virginia or Fairfax or whatever area you want to put. And I know some people are like, well, I don't want to deal with short sales and foreclosures. But most people are just interested because they want to see get a deal, or they want to see what deals are out there, but they're not necessarily wanting to buy a short sale. It's just a way to hook them in.
Right.
Yeah.
And so as you can see, this has, for the buying side, I can do it for a single property. If I want to promote that property, it's just another way, but also a seller squeeze page. Now, say if you wanted to work a county, a city, or as Melody said, a specific community, you can do the exact same thing. So I live on the Lansdowne and the Potomac community. If I click on that, and as Melody said, you'll put in a hashtag. Would you put in a hashtag for the community or for sellers, or both?
Well, whatever's going to allow you to know that what the ad is. That's for you. That's for your personal use. No one's going to see that but you on the back end. Right. So whatever's going to allow you to remember, oh, great, that's the ad I ran for sellers in Lansdowne. It's working. Great.
So I just put in that community, and look, the average price in Lansdowne is such and such. What's your home worth? You can now do this, drilling down into specific communities or cities or areas, zip codes even, and now having creative landing pages or squeeze pages. And watch this. If I put it there, I'm going to take this off. And if I drop that in there, watch what will happen. Let's see. It'll actually populate. I'm going to reload it here. It'll populate. Do not know. I think I grabbed the wrong URL. Let's try it again. It'll actually populate. Let's see. Boom. We're getting there. We're getting there.
I think you're doing something wrong, but that's okay.
Yeah.
It's all right. I think people get it. I mean, yeah, the link will populate and it'll pull a photo from, one of the EXP listings so that you have a photo. You can obviously change out the photos if you want, if you have like a standard stock photo.
There it is.
Did it work for you?
Yeah, my fat thumbs, I wasn't pressing copy correctly. But right here, it'll drop it right into Facebook. The average home in Lansdowne is this. What's your home worth? And now you can erase that link and put a call to action. You want to find out what your home is worth? And as Melody said, you can post it into specific community pages. You can do Facebook advertising and target specific zip codes. It really allows you to do some creative things here.
And like for the sellers, it just does this question mark, but you know, get a nice photo of your community if that's what you're targeting. Or like Lansdowne has a beautiful sign with the waterfall. You know, get something that people associate Lansdowne with, a photo there, and that looks pretty, and stick it in there and change the photo if you want. Yeah. The only other thing I would, because I know we're going to run out of time, and I think it's important to mention. I mean,
I want you to cover Facebook advertising.
Me? Okay. We'll go to Marketplace.
Okay. Well, do you want to take over?
Oh, sure. I can do that.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I will stop.
Let's see here.
Folks who are watching this, are you getting anything out of this? And is there anything specific? Because I see that we have some folks that are with eXp Realty. We have some that are not. What, as I said, this could go on for hours. There's so much to it. But it really empowers you. Jan?
Yeah, can you guys see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Awesome. Okay. So real quick, I'm on the tab. I'm going to go over this real quick, and then the last thing, web and IDX. So this is kind of where you can edit things for your conversion website. You can go to edit settings, and there you can add your photo. I mean, obviously, add your photo. This is where you can put the background. I actually chose to do a video of mine. So let me show you guys real quick.
Aren't you fancy?
Oops, if it helps if I actually enter in the right address. Hold on.
We have some folks out of Florida. John Diaz is asking, where do we do the setup process? And then JP from California would like to know more about where the leads are coming from. Okay.
So this is, can you see my screen?
Yes.
So I did this video. So if you haven't ever heard of it, it's, oh golly, now I can't think of the stupid site. You can pay a monthly subscription and cancel anytime. And it has these little, I think it's called promo. Do you know, David? Anyway, you can go to, I'll think of it and put a text chat in there. You can go in there. They have all these preset videos for real estate, holidays, and you can add text to them. You can use them as ads. They're actually really cool. I just took this one and didn't put text in and uploaded it and have it running. But
it's promo. I just looked it up.
Yeah, it is promo.
I'll put it in the chat session.
Yeah, promo is awesome, and you can do a lot of things with that if you get creative. But you can also put your video tour, a video tour of a home in there. I've done that before too. But anyway, you do that here. You can pick a stock photo for your background image. You can upload your own background image. Maybe you did a cool one that fits with your logo or something. And then you can also add a video as well. Down here is just different buttons. Go through it, fill it in, hit yes or no if you want those options, so on and so forth. I'm not going to go through all of it, but you just go down, click templates, the colors you want, widgets, the carousel, all those things. It's all right there. And then I wanted to show you guys if I can remember.
And while you're on this page, I'm going to answer John's question. This is where you set it up, John. You actually click on the tab at the top where it says agents, and you set it up and you put your photo in there and your contact information. And as Melody said, you can kind of change the way, look and feel of the website. There isn't it's not like a WordPress website where it's super complicated. This is very simple. There's some simple changes to be made.
Yes. And also under here, if you go through the different labels, you can add pages. So I added a buyer's resource. I haven't done too much with it yet, but site content. This is where you can add testimonials. So add those in, absolutely. You can add service areas. So if you only want to have certain areas on the bottom of your website that you service, you can add those in. Because before it had, like, for me, it had like Stafford on there and Woodbridge. And although I could maybe go to Woodbridge, it's a bit far. So I like to have just kind of the main areas I like to focus on. And this is where you can add custom pages. Site content, custom pages. There you go. Okay, so marketplace. You can do several things. You can do your own Facebook ads, which in the beginning I was doing my own Facebook ads. And actually I was getting really pretty good results. Now, as time went on, my results weren't as good. And I think Facebook is forever changing. So you have to be really good about keeping up with that. And I kind of got busy and wasn't as good about it. So I decided to have pay conversion to run my ads for me. So
let me stop right there.
Yes.
This is for all those people that are paying Zillow and Trulia and Realtor.com for those zip codes, and they're getting raked over the coals, and they're having to share that lead with 4 other agents. This is set up for you pay a fraction of the cost, almost the exact same thing, and you get exclusivity on the lead.
Yeah, so I don't know about, for example, Florida, because I know we have some Florida people on, but in Northern Virginia, Zillow is really expensive for us. And I see really expensive, like thousands of dollars for a small share of the market. And then, of course, the lead goes to like 5 or 6 or 7 other people. So I decided not to do that. And I'm just sticking with Facebook ads. Difference between Google ads and Facebook ads. Google, you will get less leads, but the leads are lower hanging fruit. They also are more expensive per lead. I have not done very much Google, but I'm thinking about doing it this year just to give it a year run, but it is more expensive. Now, if you wanted to start with just Facebook leads, you can. Like I said, you can get it through conversion. They have a tiered system, so you can pay $250 a month, and then I think it goes up to $500 a month. And you tell them what area you're looking at, what your goal is, and they set up the ads for you, and they're running, and they keep running until you want to cancel it. So
when you set that up, how quickly do you start receiving leads into your CRM?
I think they said to give I think it's been a while, but I think it's somewhere between 24 to 48 hours for them to set it up.
Right.
But once it's set up, it's set up.
And you start receiving them within days.
Yes, it varies. So recently Facebook did change their algorithms, which has kind of messed everybody up a little bit. But I would say on average, I get about, let's just say, a lead a day from spending $250 a month, $200 a month, $250 a month. But sometimes it can be up to like 50. And what I find is what happens is when, like, for example, one time I was running an ad and it had snowed 3 feet here in Northern Virginia. And if you don't know Northern Virginia, that like cripples us. You cannot leave the house for a week. So people are bored. They can't do anything. They go online, they see ads, they click on them, they search. I got so many leads that weekend. It was crazy. So think about that. Think about when people are going to be on vacation. If they're going to be on vacation during Christmas because they're not working, run an ad that week. Run an ad the week of Thanksgiving, because that's when people have time to sit down and, browse the internet. So that's been kind of at least my experience with it. So this is where you can go and get those types of things from conversion.
And this is for somebody who's really maybe not that sophisticated,
Yeah.
or have time to say, how do I set up a Facebook ad? Great. Let them handle it. And they'll do it. And they're not upcharging EXP agents or KVCore agents. It's pretty much what the cost is to actually advertise is what our costs are.
Yeah, and they'll run buyer ads for you, they'll run seller ads for you, they'll run Google buyer ads for you. Those are more expensive. I think it starts at like, I want to say it starts at like $500. But you can see here the cost per lead varies, most average $10 to $18 a lead. So they even tell you that. Property boost. So that's basically if you have a listing, you can, again, you buy this and they'll run an ad for your new listing on Facebook. That's what that is.
Mhm.
They have other different add-ons too that you can do. Listing Machine, that's a text-based seller evaluation tool, CRM. So for example, they run this ad, someone logs in, they put in their address for the valuation, they then get sent a postcard as well. So if you wanted to try that, you could. So it just depends on how much time you have. I was just getting to the point at one point where I just didn't have time to like test Facebook ads, what's working better, what's doing this. So I just have them do it. So I know an ad is always running. And then as a supplement going on. Hopefully that helps.
Hey, one other thing, since you've got your dashboard open, go on over to the smart number and custom text codes. This is a underutilized portion of KVCore, which so for texting capabilities, for example, you have a sign out in front of your listing and it says text this number, and it could be a video of you, it could be a video of the house, it could be an opt-in, it could be whatever you want to set it up to be. It could be a virtual tour, and it's a way for you to capture. So instead of putting a brochure box on there and having somebody come by and take the brochure box and throw all the flyers away, or they take one and you never know who's really in front of the property. This allows you to set up custom text codes, which would, if you would for custom text codes software, it's probably $20 to $30 a month. This is part of KVCore's platform. So I can set up a custom code with a custom number. And so you can have a couple of sign riders made and they're interchangeable, where I can actually, once I've sold the property, I can put on another house. So I can say, text the word info to this number, text the word, glamorous to this number. And you can set it up to send that consumer to any website, video that you so choose.
Yeah. And you can put it on, flyer or really anything you want to put it on. But here it is. I've created a few over the years. Some I use continuously on my riders, and some I've done for like the actual property because I put it on a flyer or brochure or something. So the main thing is no one else can use this. So if you went in and try to create a text code in your conversion home for me, it's not going to work because I have that. So you have to come up something that works for you. Now, KVCore has given you your own personal text code. It is your first name. I'm assuming it's the same for everybody. So anytime anybody were to text this number and they text your first name, you're going to get it. So that's that in a nutshell. But David, I saw some questions, I think. What is the cost associated with this? So for KVCore, for me, the actual platform, nothing, because I'm with EXP.
Let me answer that one.
That's right, David? It's nothing.
That is one of the wonderful features about being with EXP Realty. This website, is roughly in the neighborhood of $700 if you were to go get it on your own. It's a high-end system, and almost about between $5 and $7 a month just to maintain it on a monthly basis. At EXP, this is part of our core technology platform, and we get it for, as Melody said, for $50, we get, access to Regis offices, SkySlope, Broker Breakthrough, mobile apps, and KVCore. I mean, it is an incredible deal. So for those that are already on board with us, you know that you get this. And for those that are, seeing this for the first time, you like what you see, reach out to one of us. Reach out to maybe somebody who sent you to this webinar. Reach out to myself, Melody, and send us a message, and we'll tell you all about it. There's so much more to this application, but it's something that when 90% of buyers and sellers, you can take your screen share off so we can see you, Mel.
Oh, I'm sorry. And I wanted to answer the last few questions too, David, so don't forget.
Okay. When 90% of the buyers and sellers are out there looking on the internet, it only makes sense to have something that's going to help you capture those leads, because somebody is. Those top producing agents in your market, I'll guarantee you, have a high-end system. It might be something else. It might be Sierra Systems or Boomtown or something else that they're paying a lot of money for. but KVCore is right up there with them. And in my humble opinion, it's one of the better ones. Go ahead, Mel.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've only used KVCore, but I love it, and it's free. I mean, I don't pay anything for it, so I feel like if it's a tool that I get that, you know, is free, I should utilize it. And even if you have it, especially for free, you should be using it. And even if you're only putting a few $100s a month in it, and you utilize it correctly, you're gonna get your money's worth. So use it. Now, I did notice John, I don't know if you're with EXP or not.
John just came on board. He's down in Florida. Yes.
Is he with EXP, or is he just
John is officially on board with EXP,
okay.
And he's got a number of agents that he's bringing on down there.
So John, EXP should be sending you all that information, but if you're not sure, you can go into the cloud and go to tech support office, and they will give you the rundown. JP, Joanne.
Yeah.
I hope you're doing okay with the fires. Oh my gosh. Joanne,
mostly her front porch.
Oh my gosh, that's horrible. Well, the leads are all been from Facebook, honestly, really. I think that's Kylie. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. How long has it taken to get your site set up? Oh, it's really simple. I mean, if you just want to get running, the main thing you need to set up is your
not even an hour.
Yeah, your drip campaigns. And KVCore does have a lot of training, and we can put the link for their training down there with EXP, which I think you are. I think I recognize that name. They have training once a week on KVCore in the cloud.
I put the support link in there from KVCore as well.
Yeah, oh, David put the link in how to set your website up. There's lots of different training. And I think that's it. I think those are all the questions.
One of the things that I want to throw out there is there's a lot here, and you can take it slowly at your own pace. Some people are very, fast learners, and they want to dive into it and really, like yourself, you're using Zapier to connect bomb video emails and really taking it to another level. But you can start small. One of the things that I want to emphasize to those people that are watching is here at EXP, we have training on this every week in the cloud office, but also Melody and I will be doing training for those people that are part of our team as well for support and helping them out with their website in any way, shape, or form that we can.
Yeah, absolutely. Just send me a message and have a question, and I can help you or at least point you in the right direction. But if you have it, you should be using it for sure.
Well, we're coming up on an hour here, so to wrap it up, your final thoughts on KVCore.
Me? Well, I mean, I'm going to keep using it. I've saved 6 figures in commission from the amount of money I've spent is totally worth it.
I think you mentioned over the course of time, you may have spent $9,000, which sounds like a lot, but over the course of 4 years, I don't know what the math is. It's a few $100s a month, if that.
About $2,000 to $3,000 a year that I spend. It just depends, and that's not really a lot when you're thinking about millions of dollars worth of sales.
Yeah. So with that investment, you've achieved $100,000 in commission as a result of that. To me, that's a no-brainer.
Yeah, and really, I consider it to be more because several of those people have been repeat clients.
Right.
So they've bought, then they sold, and they've bought again within 3 years because they've moved up or they've moved away or something like that. So
wow.
Yeah.
Well, listen, guys, we're gonna have various training events here live locally. And so at expectopportunity.com, I'll put it in the chat session here, but I'll also send you a link. But we're going to have one on video marketing here locally. I'm also going to do another one on bomb video email on December 3rd that I just announced, which will be a live webinar, which is one of my favorite applications. And so I'll put the link in there. Anytime you need help with something, if you're with EXP, certainly reach out to me. And if you're not with EXP yet, talk to the person that sent you here. And if somebody didn't send you here, then reach out to me and send me an email, and we'll hook up. So, hey, I want to thank you for your time, Mel.
All right. Thank you.
Go take care of that sick one. Yes.
Oh, man. Yeah. Thanks.
Hey, we'll see you
Bye.
guys later. Have a great day.